Hi, my name is Sharon Brunk. In the United States, we like it fast. Fast service, fast cars, fast food, and yes, fast fashion. Fast fashion is a contemporary term given to clothing that is mass-produced and meant to be worn and discarded at a high rate. Research shows fast fashion destroys land, pollutes the air, and poisons the water. In the 1960s, 97% of the clothes worn by Americans was made and produced right here in America. That number has seen a huge shift. Today, as we can see, China alone brings in 33.8% of all the clothing imported for our use here in America. Other countries that are contributing to our lust for the trendy are countries like Vietnam at 10%, Bangladesh, Honduras, Cambodia, Mexico, to name a few. This graph comes from the Sourcing Journal from an article written by Judith Russell, May of 2013, titled China, Vietnam Gain Share of U.S. Market in the First Quarter. Fast fashion has a tendency to destroy our world from every process, start to finish. The cotton seeds, to start, use a lot of fertilizer, a lot of pesticides, and a lot of water. These three things in combination are proving deadly. The water that is used to water the cotton is full, of course, with poison. That poison is being either redistributed into the earth or becomes water runoff, which is redistributed into lands, lakes, and streams. The poison that is distributed to the earth, well, that's where the farmers live. That's where their families are. That's where the chicken is and the goats that they eat. And that's where, of course, the water is. Where they bathe is where they sleep. These poor people are unintentionally poisoning themselves. A lot of their family members are being born with symptoms like Down syndromes, slow growth rate, low birth rate. They'll have extra limbs, and they're more prone to things like jaundice and cancer. From there, after the cotton comes off the farm, it goes to textile plants. Now these plants, they do several things, and there's several different plants that each serve their own purpose, from turning the cotton to textile, to dyeing it, to making the clothes, to bleaching it, just whatever it is that they need. Unfortunately, these plants are spewing thousands of tons of poison into the air. There's a school, according to Jim Yardley, in Savoy, Bangladesh, that has 5 of these plants surrounding it. 5. The students inside the school complain that the smell from the water actually physically makes them sick. And kind of cool, but probably not, the sky is filled with the colors of the dye that's using in the plant that day. So if they're using a purple dye to dye all the shirts, say, of the day, the sky will be purple. So that's unfortunate. Also, the water is then, because unfortunately the process of turning cotton into textiles does take tons and tons of water, and that water is actually dumped back into the main river systems where it originally came from. When that happens, of course, there's water runoff, and that will affect everything from drinking water to cooking water to bathing water. There's the holy Ganges River. You may have heard of it. It's the holiest river in the world. Millions of people go and visit it each year. Well, if you take a look at the Ganges River in 1960 and you take a look at the Ganges River now, you would be horrified. There is so much garbage and clothes and just the dye. You can see the filament and the structure in the water. People are actually still using that as a main water source, and millions of people go and visit this river every year because it's the holiest river in the world. Another problem, since we're talking about rivers and lakes, is what we're doing to the ocean. Um, as you know, or probably could have guessed, when it comes to transportation, getting that stuff from these third world and developing nations back to the United States for processing, it takes cargo ships. It's first it's shipped by train to the ports, and then the seaports have the cargo ships. Just one of these cargo ships produces enough cancer and asthma-causing agents as 50 million cars in 1 year. Just one. After the closure here in the United States, we, of course, consumerism at its finest, we see those ads and we got to go out and get that trendy new hot fashion look. So, that's great. The other stuff we had was probably being destroyed anyway. It is fast fashion, fading, ripping, whatever. Just not in good shape. So we'll go to Goodwill, we'll go to Salvation Army, and we're happy to do so. We don't even have to get out of our cars. The attendant will come and take our stuff out of the bag, give us a coupon for our next trip, and off we go to go get some more clothes, thanks to that aggressive advertising. So once we do that, what happens to those clothes? Those old raggedy clothes that we got a couple of weeks ago, we don't need them anymore. Well, they are actually sent to sorting mills. And these sorting mills, the good clothes, some of the good clothes are left here. The rest of them are baled up and put back on a cargo ship and sent to third world countries. Not developing countries, but third world countries like Haiti. Once they're in these bales, these people, they'll go and they'll buy these clothes, usually for what we would consider pennies on the dollar, but $5-10 for a bale of about 500 pounds of clothes. They'll sort through them and see what they can resell. Otherwise, the clothes that we thought we were going to be giving to our community end up in landfills. Some good use is coming out of it because they are being currently used as filler for couches and things or insulation. But a majority of it is actually bailed off and sent off to these third world countries. This is a problem, and we need to work on ways to fix it. Right now, these countries are suffering with crises of air pollution, land pollution, water pollution. There are ways that each of the countries needs to sit down and resolve these issues, and I personally believe they need to do it themselves. But there are studies that show that these are having quite the negative effect on the health of the people in these communities, and they need our help. Thank you.